Hey guys, welcome to Let's Veg About It. Here I am to share with you guys one of my biggest passions, which is working as a Rocksteady boxing coach. And here I have one of our Rocksteady boxers with me, and I wanted to do this video because I wanted to share a little bit of my passion as well as kind of help people understand what other ways people are fighting against Parkinson's. And for many of you guys that may not know on my channel, I am a personal trainer, like I mentioned, but I'm also working as a coach to help other people in boxing. And so here I am with one of our clients. So this is Carol.
I'm Carol.
So Carol, how long have you been with Rocksteady Boxing?
I think I've been with Rocksteady Boxing between 7 and 8 months, maybe.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, since the fall.
Okay. What were some of the things that you noticed before you ended up knowing you had Parkinson's? Were there any things that were like telltale signs?
Yeah, it's like you can't walk in a straight line.
Okay.
You know, and there's I kind of veer to one side or the other. Other things which at the time I did not know were associated with Parkinson's, like my sleep patterns.
Oh, okay.
You know, were different, and sometimes you know how you stumble and you don't have a reason. You look down and you're like, what made me kind of like trip? And it was nothing. It's just that my lower extremities weren't doing what I wanted them to do.
Okay.
And I would almost like trip over and fall. I can remember being in New Orleans when they had the what was because I went down to help rebuild, and we had been out and just walking back, and all of a sudden I'm on the ground, and I'm like, how did that happen? But I didn't think anything of it at the time. But it was probably like the early stages.
Gotcha.
And well, when you don't know, you just don't know.
Yeah. So how long have you been diagnosed with Parkinson's?
Since right before the year before COVID.
Okay. So 2019. Okay. So not very long.
Not very long.
Okay.
No.
And how did you hear about Rocksteady Boxing?
Well, my neurologist, Dr. Ledoux, told me I might want to try it.
Okay, awesome.
And you know, it was just I have balance issues on my big thing, and every time I would go and he was like, oh, okay, stand on one foot. I'm like, come on now, you know I can't do that. But you know, every time I go, he's asking me to do these things, and I couldn't do them. So he just suggested, he said it would be something worth trying to see if it would help me with like balance and stuff like that.
Okay, awesome. So what was your condition before you started Rocksteady Boxing?
I would say fair.
Fair.
You
Okay.
know, if I had to, you know.
To grade it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say fair.
Fair.
So that's kind of like a D.
So when you started to box, did you notice any major difference between when you first started boxing versus how you box now?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So
because it was like being a fish out of water. Like, what is this? What am I doing?
Right.
You know, I remember things with boxing. My family, my brothers would watch like Muhammad Ali or something. So that was my connection.
Okay.
With
so you
boxing.
were thinking
I'm like,
contact sport.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, look, that is not me at all. And then when I started, it was like, I was like so excited. I was like, oh my God, this is work.
Yes.
This is hard. Yeah. You know, but you know, learning things like jabs and hooks and uppercuts, I'm like, I didn't know any of that. Had never in life done a push-up. Ever.
Right.
So I was like, I think yesterday I did 20.
Nice.
And I'm like, but they're not where my mind sees them being, but I'm getting there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then like had no balance. Would not move my feet because I didn't want them to lose contact with the floor.
Okay, so there's a little bit of timidity there.
Absolutely. And maybe it was just mental. Mm-hmm. But you say pick your foot up. I'm like, I'm not picking my feet up because I will surely fall. And
right.
But now it's better when we're boxing. I actually, I can step back, I can step up. I was doing absolutely none of that. I can actually do a jumping jack the regular way.
Yeah.
And I was doing none of that. As a matter of fact, I didn't even like doing the modified because that meant I had to move a foot.
Yeah.
And I was like, So I had the arm part down. But the lower, I was like, no.
So you've seen such a progression for yourself, starting with doing modified, almost hesitating to do the modified version of a jumping jack to full on doing a full jumping jack.
Yeah.
And
I can
awesome.
Comfortable.
Yeah,
And
that's wonderful.
That's a biggie because I was too afraid to do that.
Yeah. So how do you feel Rocksteady has sort of helped you, or any of your coaches have really helped you in your walk with Parkinson's?
Well, I think what you guys do is to help not just build us up physically, but to sort of build us up mentally, by sharing things that we didn't even know were connected with the disease, like sleep patterns and things like that, shifting and what have you. But then when you think about it, I was like, oh, so that's why I wake up every day at 2nd. I'm like, who would have thought? And then giving us insight into that part of the disease and here are things you can try. You can try these breathing techniques, or you can try this, or you can try, you know what I mean, to kind of help us to control, to focus on the changes and not necessarily be so afraid, because I think at some point, somewhere in our mind, there's fear, so it's not as much fear. It's like, oh, I just didn't know. Now that I know, I can do this, or I can do that, or I can, to kind of balance that thing out.
Got you. So you feel like the support is also not just the physical, or fitness, but it's more also
mental and emotional. You know what I'm saying?
Support.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. If you were to meet somebody who is just coming or just recently got diagnosed, what would be something or an advice that you would share with them regarding, being with Rocksteady?
The same advice that I give new members that come to the gym. Okay. Like Janet, or we had one today. His name was Will. Okay. And just to let them know, you know what? Open your mind. Open your mind, because I think the disease causes us to close our mind to the opportunities, to the possibilities. Do what you can. You go at your own pace. Right. And do what you can do. And little by little, you see this change, like a metamorphosis. Mosey was teasing me today. She said, "Oh, that's a good punch. You can." I was like, everything makes me laugh. But I was like, okay, Mosey. Because don't focus on me. I'm good when I'm, I'm
focused.
not focused. But that in itself was letting me know how far I have come.
Right. And in just such a short time, too. It's just only been about 8 months since you've been with Rocksteady. So it shows that you're able to see physical and even emotional
Didn't know what a
changes.
bird dog was. Didn't know what any
of these exercises
are. I'm like, no. when I was in the military, we never did exercises like that. Well, sit-ups, I knew that.
Right.
But all of these other yoga, Pilates kind of
things, right?
Had no idea.
Right.
So, but if you open your mind, and that's what I would tell everybody, just free your mind. And
don't be limited.
Don't limit yourself.
Don't limit yourself into thinking that your body can't move in certain ways.
Because it can. You know, I've learned stuff like that whole memory, muscle memory.
Muscle memory.
I'm like, oh, who knew?
Right.
And to be able to do that at 68.
There you go.
Because, you know, you think about it, and you think, oh, I'm too old. And you should never, don't let that be the reason you don't try.
Yeah.
Because age has nothing to do with it.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Carol, for this lovely interview. And I hope that if any of you guys who may be early, have been diagnosed with Parkinson's, look to your area, because there are Rock City Boxing franchises around the country.
Absolutely.
And I think that it would really benefit you. I believe they also have it where you can call them online, and if you don't have one near, you can talk to a coach and maybe get some tips. But either way, I really hope that you guys remember, keep the body moving. It is so important. Absolutely. And remember, age does not matter.
Don't limit yourself.
Exactly. As you can see here. Thanks again so much, guys. And we look forward to continuing on with this little mini series on Let's Veg About It. Thanks, guys. Take care. Bye.
Bye.